Don't you feel overwhelmed by the voices around you saying, "Run, don't stop, always produce more"? Society labels slowing down as laziness and weakness. On the contrary, enjoying the moment and letting go of unnecessary burdens promises us true freedom and peace. These voices put so much pressure on you that sometimes you end up spinning in the same place and spend the most enjoyable periods of your life feeling worn out. So, how would you like to get rid of all these burdens and step into a calmer, happier life? In this video, I will share 8 important points that you should no longer care about as you age. When you adapt these points to your life, you will feel lighter and lighter, free from both stress and the heavy burden of societal expectations. The result will not only be a sigh of relief, but also more time for yourself and your loved ones, deeper peace, and a meaningful life. If this has sparked a spark in you, you can show your support by subscribing to Mindful Sphere and liking our video. Also, if you have loved ones who need to hear this very message, don't forget to share it with them. Together, let's leave our unnecessary burdens behind and embrace a calmer, more joyful future. 1. Stop worrying too much about what others think. When we are young, most of us wear ourselves out with questions like, "Did they like me? Did I say something wrong? Or what do they think of me?" Over time, you learn that you cannot fully control how anyone feels or thinks about you. People may criticize, misunderstand, or judge you. This is the most natural cycle in the world. But these criticisms and thoughts should not guide your happiness. When you stop living with other people's opinions, you will feel more clearly what freedom means. Be yourself, live your own life. People who truly love and value you will already accept you for all that you are. Is there a need to put extra effort into the rest? 2. Stop wasting energy on arguments and drama. When we are young, we often try to win an argument, trying to impose our opinion. But as the years go by, you realize that the vast majority of such conflicts are a waste of time. Because the person on the other side will not easily give up what they believe in, no matter how logical you make it sound. Everyone has a point of view, and most people don't think much about changing it. So why waste your breath? Sometimes the most powerful response is to silently say, "It's okay if that's what you think," and move on. This small step is invaluable for keeping your peace of mind. Remember, your mental health is far more valuable than winning an argument. 3. Stop trying to solve everyone's problems. You may have spent much of your life trying to solve other people's problems, trying to guide them. It is, of course, good to be charitable, but sometimes in the name of helping, we start to bear the burden of others. However, each person needs to find their own path and learn from their own mistakes. If you always solve all their problems and act as a savior in every difficulty, you take away their opportunity to develop. Choose to listen, make your presence felt, but don't jump into every problem at the risk of feeling exhausted. You also have to protect your own happiness and health, because you didn't come into this world just to save others, but to live your life well first. 4. Stop pursuing perfection and stuck with regrets. What we call perfection is a fantasy that doesn't exist in reality. When we are young, we try to make every detail perfect, to avoid even the smallest mistake. When we make a mistake or make a wrong decision, we subject ourselves to heavy criticism. But as the years go by, we realize that every mistake is actually a teacher. It makes us grow, matures us, and helps us understand life more deeply. When you look back on your past, you may find many things you regret. But if you get stuck in them, you miss the present. The mistakes you made in the past and the lessons you learned have made you the strong person you are now. Accept them, not as a burden, but as a light that illuminates your path. Life is worth being present in the moment and savoring it rather than trying to achieve perfection. 5. Stop accumulating unnecessary things. Every memory, every item, every gift we receive over time carries a story. However, not all of these stories nourish us. Sometimes they weigh us down. Clothes that don't fit in closets, boxes piled on top of each other, lots of ornaments. At some point, they all narrow our existence and squeeze our soul. Real wealth is not measured by the square meters of your home, but by the depth of your experiences. As you dispose of your unnecessary belongings, you also purge your burdens. Fill the house with loving memories, pleasant conversations, small but meaningful sharing. Remember, less stuff means a life that breathes more. 6. Stop trying to please everyone. You may have spent most of your life trying to define your value in the eyes of others. There must have been times when you struggled to please them, to meet their expectations. But now, it is time to listen to your own wishes and hear your own inner voice. Don't be afraid to say no. No is sometimes the most powerful demonstration of love, because it means that you are being honest with yourself and with the other person. Those who are truly there for you will accept and respect your boundaries. Remember that prioritizing yourself is a necessary step, not a selfish one, because without making yourself happy, it is impossible to make others truly happy. 7. Stop rushing all the time. When we are young, we run life like a marathon and are constantly in a hurry to catch up. Jobs, responsibilities, endless running around. But when you stop for a moment and take a look, you realize that you are missing the taste of life. What a joy it is to brew a cup of tea and savor the taste of it slowly instead of drinking it in a hurry. Now you are at such a point that when you choose to stop, no one will say to you, "Why did you stop?" So give yourself time, look around, listen to the birds chirping, watch the joy of children playing in the street. In short, take a break from the pace of life for a while. In fact, the most precious moments are not the ones we spend in a hurry, but the ones we live by, feeling every second of them. 8. Stop worrying too much about the future. The future will always be an enigma. It always has been and always will be. Trying to control this uncertainty only drains your energy and robs you of the beauty of the present moment. Think about how many times you have worried, "What if it doesn't work out?" And things have worked out. How many times have you wondered, "How will I get through this?" And you finally got through it. If you have been able to get up after all the difficulties in the past, you will be able to do the same in the future. So enjoy the present, don't ignore the small moments, and trust life a little more. The greatest wisdom that comes with getting older is actually discovering the peace of less rather than having more. Instead of beating ourselves up over events we cannot control, sometimes trusting the flow makes us lighter and freer. When we let go of excess and move on, we gain a clearer view of ourselves and life. Keeping what truly nourishes our minds and hearts and leaving the rest behind is one of the keys to happiness. Remember, life makes sense not only with the breaths we take, but also with the moments that take our breath away. Multiplying those magical moments and realizing our own value and joy of living is the most precious opportunity we have. If you have found something in these lines that has touched your life, you can support Mindful Sphere by subscribing to the channel and liking the video. Also, if you have friends, family, or relatives who need to hear this message, don't forget to share it with them, because sometimes a single word, a single suggestion can make a big difference in someone's life. Now is the time to invite yourself and your loved ones to a happier life, with small steps, but with a strong awareness.